Good morning, students. This is your Maths 1 online teaching session. Looking at the screen, you must have understood which chapter I am going to start. Yes, I am going to start with the fourth chapter, that is financial planning. Before we do that, let us quickly have a look at the content outline. What are the new things that we'll be learning in this chapter? In this chapter, we'll be introduced to GST. There are many new terms which you should know when you are learning GST. All those things will be taught to you. Then you will learn how to do calculation of sums based on GST. What is ITC? Then tax invoice will be taught to you, how to prepare that tax invoice bill. All these things you will be learning. I want you to make a note of the last point, that is shares, mutual funds and SIP is omitted from your syllabus. It means that 4.1 and 4.2 are the only two practice set which you have to do from this chapter. The last two is omitted. So please make a note of all these things. Okay. So let's start with this chapter. Now you have just finished with your first sem exam. I hope it has gone well. Yes. For that you must have done planning. How much to study, which chapter to study, how much time should be given to which chapter, and all such sort of plannings you must have done, right? That is nothing but study planning. But when it comes to money, right, I'm talking about your parents who are earning it. They do financial planning. Now what is it? Financial planning is a long-term method of wisely managing your finances so you can achieve your goals and dreams. Yes, while at the same time negotiating the financial barriers that inevitably arise in every stage of life. Now, a perfect example can be given of the current situation. Nobody was aware that such a situation will arise where a lockdown will be imposed on us. Yes, so for all such crisis situation, a proper planning must should be done. That is nothing but financial planning. Now, do you know or you have any idea which tax system is in practice for business in our country right now? Think about it. Most of you must have immediately uttered the word GST. Yes or no? Now, very few know much in detail about it. The only one statement that you know about GST is one nation, one tax, one market. Yes or no? So don't worry. In this chapter, we will be learning in detail what is GST, how it functions, how calculation of GST is done on different goods and how it is functioned, right? All these things we will be learning in this chapter. So let's start it. GST. It stands for Goods and Service Tax. The whole country follows the same tax system since 1st July 2017. I hope you are aware, before 2017, 1st July 2017, there were many type of taxes which were direct taxes and indirect taxes which was levied on us. We were not even knowing how many type of taxes we were paying. Correct? So after 1st July, since 1st July 2017, the government has imposed a new tax system, that is nothing but GST. Okay, let us understand, let us quickly see which type of taxes we were paying before 1st July 2017. It was excise tax, excise duty, service tax, custom duty. Excise duty what? Where you pay on cigarettes, tobaccos, etc. Service tax is a tax which is paid for a service that is given. Custom duty, I hope you know that when you get something imported from outside, that is custom duty. Then central surcharge and cess. You have learned last year educational cess. If your taxable income exceeds the limit, then you have to pay all such taxes. Yes. Then what are indirect taxes which we are paying? Entertainment tax, luxury tax, all these taxes we were paying. Entertainment tax was paid on movies or cables, whatever we view. Correct? Luxury tax is on AC, refrigerator, all those luxury items, cars and all, when we purchase we pay that. All such taxes were levied on us, but since 1st July 2017, government has removed all these taxes and put it under one main tax, that is GST. Okay, it stands for nothing but Goods and Service Tax. It is a tax which is levied on goods also and service also. Right? So this is a tax system which is followed now in our country. Now, since you know little bit about GST, let us see what is tax invoice. Okay. Now tax invoice is a thing which is used in GST. Now this is a format, a sample piece. Now you can see many new terms used here. Which are those new terms? The new terms are GSTIN. Now see, in tax invoice, what are the things that will be given to you that we have to mention? A supplier address. Whoever is supplying, that person's address has to be mentioned here. Mobile number, email ID. Now invoice number. Invoice number means actually the bill number, the GST bill number. Okay. Invoice date. Now this is a new term, GSTIN number. This I will explain in detail, don't worry. Then as we go further, I can see serial number. Then the next new term that I can see here is HSN code. This also I'll tell you, don't worry, I will discuss about it. Then name of the product, rate, quantity, taxable amount, that is okay. The next new word is CGST and SGST. Now these are the new terms that were introduced in the tax invoice after GST was imposed. Okay. So what are the new terms that we should know when we are studying about GST? We should know about GSTIN number, HSN code, CGST and SGST. Now let us start one by one with these new terms and try to understand what are they. Now what is this GSTIN? GSTIN is nothing but Goods and Service Tax Identification Number. All people, those who are paying GST, should have this GSTIN number. It is mandatory. Unless and until they have this, they will not be allowed to sell or buy any goods or products. Okay. Now what type of number is this? As you can see here, I have shown you here. This is the GSTIN number. It is such a big number. Now what important things that you should remember? It is a 15-digit alphanumerical. Can you see it? It is having numbers as well as alphabets involved in it, and when you count it, it is 15 digit, 15 number. Okay. Now randomly anything is not written here. Everything has meaning in this. Now first two digit, that is 27, is a state code. Now we are in the state of Maharashtra, so we have this code of Maharashtra as 27. As you go on and see the GST and bill of other states, you will find this number will change. Different states have different state code number. For us in Maharashtra, it is 27. Then the next 10 digits, that is A, B, C, D, E and 1, 2, 3, 4, H. It is nothing but the PAN card number of the firm. Whoever is having this GSTIN, the owner, his PAN card number is this 10 digit number. Okay. Then the next number, that is 1. 1 is nothing but it represents the registration. It represents the registration number of the person who is having this GSTIN number. Okay. Then what is Z? Z is uniform for all by default. Whoever is having this number will have this second last digit as Z. It is uniform, right? Then we have the last number, that is 5. What is it now? It confirms the validity of GSTIN when entered on GST portal. When this can be either a number or an alphabet, it confirms your validity. Yes, this number is confirmed. When you enter this 15-digit number in GST portal, it is having a portal where everybody's number is registered. When you enter this 15-digit number and it gets confirmed. Now for that, the last number is given to you as 5. It can be a number or it can be an alphabet also. So like this is a 15-digit alphanumeric number which is called as GSTIN number. It is mandatory for all the people to have this number, unless this is actually a registration done. If you have this, you are allowed to sell goods or buy or do any type of transaction. Okay. So two important points that you should remember about GSTIN is, it is mandatory for dealers whose annual turnover in the previous financial year exceeds rupees 20 lakhs. Now when you go out, you must have seen the small shops, like those people who are selling tea or something, they might not have this GSTIN. Why? Because their annual turnover is not over 20 lakhs. So the government has made it mandatory for only those dealers whose annual turnover in the previous financial year is more than 20 lakhs. It is mandatory for them. They should have this number. Okay. Then what is the next important thing? that this GSTIN has 15 alpha numerals. I have already told you it is a 15 digit alphanumeric number. It is having numbers as well as alphabets. I have explained you in detail about all the important terms that are used here. The first two is nothing but the state code, that is 27. It differs from state to state. Okay, since we are in Maharashtra, it is 27. The next 10 digit is nothing but the PAN card number of the firm. 1 is, it represents the registration number. Z is same, uniform for all by default, and 5 confirms your validity when you enter this number in GST portal. Okay, so this is all about GSTIN you should know. Make a note of all these important points. After this, we have seen HSN number, HSN written in that invoice bill. What is that? The full form is nothing but Harmonized System of Nomenclature. What is it? It is a numerical code assigned to goods. Now when you go to shops like, suppose for example DMart, you purchase something like almonds. Now when the shopkeeper or when the person is making the bill, what he will do, he will not type that word almonds every now and then. A numerical number will be given to it. That is nothing but HSN code. As soon as he enters that number that is assigned to it, the rate and quantity, everything will be specified in the bill. Okay, so this is nothing but Harmonized System of Nomenclature. It's a numerical code assigned to goods. Okay, it needs to be coded in the tax invoice. It is compulsory that you quote it or you write it in your tax invoice. The next important thing that you should know, that was not mentioned in the bill, either it can be HSN or it can be SAC. Now what is this? This is nothing but Service Accounting Code. Now this is given when one service is given to other person, that time when a bill is prepared, like a doctor, yes, or a hotel, when you go to a restaurant, that is a service which is provided to you. So there it is not HSN, you are not purchasing, you are taking the service of that particular person. So what type of code will be given there? It will be SAC. In the bill it will be mentioned. What is it? It is a Service Accounting Code, right? Each service has a unique SAC. Whether it is professionals like doctors or whether you are going to restaurant, each one will have a unique SAC code. Okay, these codes can be used in invoices created for services to be delivered. I hope these two important terms are understood to you. What is HSN and what is SAC, right? So make a note of it. We move on to the next important thing, that is what are the different types of taxes which I have seen or which can be imposed in GST. Now you have seen in that bill only two types, that is CGST and SGST, right? Now what are they? CGST is a tax which is imposed by the central government. SGST is a tax which is imposed by the state government. Okay, now these two we have seen in that bill. Then what is this UTGST and IGST? UTGST is imposed when you are in some union territory. I hope you know union territories, Lakshadweep and all that. Yes, when you are there, the GST which is imposed, it is called as UTGST. Now IGST is what? IGST is used when it is interstate transaction being done from state of Maharashtra to the state of Gujarat. When such transactions are done, then what we use is IGST. Now these are the different type of taxes which are imposed under GST. I hope all these concepts are clear to you. CGST is a central tax imposed by the central government. SGST is the state tax. Union territory, when we talk, it is UTGST. And when the transaction is done between states, interstate, that is nothing but IGST. Okay. Now, is it that all goods and services are categorized under same GST rate? No. Now, this is a page from your textbook. As you can see, different commodities and different services have different taxes. There are few commodities where 0% GST is there. Those are the essential commodities like food grains, fruits, vegetables, milk, salt. These are essential commodities which every person, even those who are earning crores of rupees and even that common man, yes, everyone requires. So on this there is 0% GST. Services like charitable trust, transport of water, use of roads and bridges, public library, all this have 0% GST. So like this, I would like to refer this, you should refer this page from your textbook where the GST rates are specified on different goods and services. Low rated, that is 5% on commonly used items like LPG, tea, coffee. Services like railway, bus transport, taxi services, it's low rated, that is 5%. 12% GST on standard, it's a standard rated, right? Like butter, ghee, dry fruits, on all this it is 12%. Services like printing press, guest house, all this is having 12% rate. Then second slab of standard rated is most of the goods and services are included as 18% GST. Now what are they? Marble, granite, perfumes, all this 18%. Services like courier service, outdoor catering, circus, drama, etc. all these are under 18%. Now highly rated are for those very rich people, like luxury items, motorcycles, spare parts, luxury cars, all this are highly rated, that is 28%. So maximum rate of GST that can be imposed is 28%. It starts from 0% till 28%. Now what type of services? 5-star hotel accommodation, amusement parks, water parks, etc. All these are highly rated, having 28%. Okay. So like this, just have a look at all the different rates and what are the goods and services. It's there in your textbook. I would like you to just refer it, right? After this, what are the important points that you should remember? You should remember in this that rate of GST for goods and services are different, varying from 0% to 28%. This is what I have shown you in the previous slide. Rate of CGST and rate of SGST are the same. Now this is important, very important point to remember, that whatever is a rate of central government, whatever it is imposing on goods, same rate the state government will also impose. It does not depend upon the state government. Previously it was that few states used to charge more. Now state of Maharashtra may be charging only 15% on some commodities, other state might charge 25% on the same. Now it has been removed. Now every state has to follow the same rate. Whatever is the central government rate, same should be the state government rate. Okay, so this is important point to remember, that rate of CGST and SGST are same. Now another formula you can say, that rate of GST is nothing but it is the total of rate of CGST and rate of SGST. Okay, if 28% rate of GST I have given you, then what will be the rate of CGST? It will be half of it, that is 14 for this and 14 for this. I hope you are understanding. Rate of CGST is 5%, rate of SGST is 5%. Then can you calculate and tell me rate of GST? Obviously it will be 5 plus 5, that is 10%. So make a note of all these very important points that you should know at the beginning of this chapter. Yes. So with this, I hope you have understood the concept of GST. We'll start with the practice set. Question number 1. These are very easy ones. It will be based on whatever I have taught you today. Let's see. The first question. Pawan Medical supplies medicines. On some medicines, the rate of GST is 12%. Then what is the rate of CGST and SGST? Just now I have told you that rate of CGST and SGST is nothing but they both are equal or same. Yes. So it is nothing but half of GST. So what it is as easy as, what is the rate of CGST? It is half of GST, that is half of 12. So it comes to 6%. Let's see the solution of it. Rate of GST is given to us as 12%. Rate of CGST is equal to rate of SGST. This is what I have explained. That is nothing but half of rate of GST. Why? Because GST is the sum of SGST and CGST. So it is half of it. Now it will be 12 upon 2, that is 6%. Final answer, rate of CGST is equal to rate of SGST and that is equal to 6%. I hope you have understood this very easy sum. Don't get afraid. This chapter is having many concepts, I agree, but I will make it easy for you. If you understand it, please try to understand and write it along with me. It is easy. The first sum is, I hope everybody has written and understood. Let us move to the next question. See the next question. On a certain article, if the rate of CGST is 9%, then what is the rate of SGST? Immediately you should answer. If rate of CGST is 9, rate of SGST also has to be 9. What is the rate of GST? Rate of GST is nothing but the total of CGST and total of SGST. So it is nothing but 9 plus 9, that is 18. So I don't think you require my help in this. Please do it on your own. See, rate of CGST is 9%. Rate of CGST is equal to rate of SGST. Therefore, rate of SGST also will be 9%. Question asked is rate of GST, which is nothing but the total of rate of SGST and rate of CGST. So we will get 9 plus 9, that is 18%. So I hope these two very easy sums are understood to you. Yes, with this I come to the end of this session. Whatever has been done, please revise it and solve these two sums. Remaining, we will continue in the next session. Thank you.